Swadika, hello and welcome to ASEAN Challenge, the show to give you the latest headlines, hot topics and updates happening around ASEAN in two languages, Thai and English. I'm Rosalind Tepawan.
And I'm Alisa สิทธิวงศ์ขอต้อนรับคุณผู้ชมทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะข่าวสารรอบอาเซียนเป็นทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาไทย
Starting off, ASEAN hot issue right now, or rather the ASEAN around us. Let's take a look at what's going on around Cambodia, especially in the political sector as things are heating up. And before we begin, we have a soundbite for you to listen to.
ใช่แล้วค่ะปลายปีแบบนี้นะคะเรามาดูสถานการณ์ของกัมพูชากันก่อนที่ในปีหน้าเขาจะมีการเลือกตั้งครั้งยิ่งใหญ่ของประเทศเลยทีเดียวเอาเป็นว่าเดี๋ยวเราไปดูกันว่าเป็นยังไงบ้างค่ะ
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Against his family members, or you are concerned by?
We are gravely concerned that the Cambodian government's decision to dissolve the Cambodia National Rescue Party, the CNRP. Not only does that set back Cambodia's democratic development, it unnecessarily damages Cambodia's relationship with the United States and others in the international community. It weakens Cambodia's economic growth and prosperity and isolates the country further from democracies in the region. Freedom and multi-party democracies are enshrined in the Paris Peace Accords and in Cambodia's constitution. The Cambodian government's decision marks a sharp reversal of those ideals. The Supreme Court's announcement follows other disturbing actions by the Department of Cambodia, including its crackdown on the free press by shutting down the Cambodia Daily, launching a politicized tax investigation against the Voice of America, Radio Free Asia, and others as well. Legitimate elections require genuine competition. The act removes the meaningful competition from the 2018 national elections. For the 2018 elections to have international legitimacy, the government of Cambodia should undo its dissolution of the Cambodia National Rescue Party, release the imprisoned leader Kem Sokha, and allow opposition parties, civil society, and media to maintain their legitimate activities.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what the United States is looking at to replace that so you can continue.
We were extremely disappointed that the Security Council did not renew the mandate of the Joint Investigative Mechanism. What is so important about this Joint Investigative Mechanism is that that entity, if you will, determines culpability for chemical weapons use. Okay, that is important to know. Not just that chemical weapons were used, but who actually deployed them, which country, which entity has deployed them. We see this, the work of the Joint Investigative Mechanism, as critically important to holding people, individuals, militaries, responsible parties accountable for the use of chemical weapons. We know that Russia once again prioritized protecting the Assad regime. We know that Russia has helped the Assad regime in the past. When they were on the verge of crumbling, its military Russia came in and helped them out and helped strengthen the Assad regime. So we were very disappointed by the vote at the UN Security Council. But and some of this I want to leave for the UN to handle themselves, since they're the ones who are up there handling this. But Japan has put forward a new resolution to try to extend the Joint Investigative Mechanism mandate. That would be for a month, 1 month's period, so that members of the Security Council could actually have additional time to consult on the structure of it and also its methodology. And so we want to thank the government of Japan for doing that, and we hope that that will pass.
เมื่อสักครู่นี้ที่เราได้รับชมไปนะคะก็คือ Heather Nauert นั่นเองนะคะตัวแทนจากสหรัฐนั่นเองค่ะซึ่งทางสหรัฐอเมริกานะคะก็ได้ออกมาแถลงการนะคะเรียกร้องให้กัมพูชาเนี่ยค่ะถอดมาตรการกีดกันพรรคกู้ชาติหรือว่า CNRP นั่นเองนะคะพรรคฝ่ายค้านหลังจากที่อย่างที่เราทราบกันดีอยู่ค่ะว่าศาลฎีกานะคะก็ได้ยุบพรรคลงไปนะคะแล้วก็ได้ตัดสิทธิ์ของสมาชิกพรรค CNRP นั่นเองทั้งหมด118คนซึ่งทำให้เขาไม่สามารถเล่นการเมืองได้เป็นเวลา5 ปีนั่นเองถ้าหากทางศาลฎีกาไม่ยุตินะคะมาตรการนี้นะคะทางสหรัฐก็บอกว่าจะไม่สนับสนุนคณะกรรมการการเลือกตั้งของกัมพูชาในปีหน้านะคะนอกเหนือจากนี้นะคะก็จะไม่ยอมรับผลการเลือกตั้งที่กำลังจะเกิดขึ้นในปีหน้านั่นเองค่ะเพราะว่าเห็นว่าเป็นการเลือกตั้งที่ไม่ยุติธรรมนั่นเอง has always been China. So in terms of the situation and Cambodia with the opposition party being resolved and members of the party not being able to join in on political activities for a total of 5 years, China still supports Cambodia's decision to do so in the court's ruling ruling, of course. And in terms of the foreign ministry spokesperson of China, what he says is that they support Cambodia, and what it's doing is considered a development path of Cambodia. So that's what China says is going on after Cambodia Supreme Court has dissolved, as mentioned. And of course, so in terms of politics, China still supports what they're doing, saying that it is good in terms of the development of the country.
In fact, China and Cambodia have never been friendlier. They're at their peak, highest bilateral relations moment at the moment. And China, though, on another note, is also by far the biggest single donor to Cambodia and its biggest investor. So that kind of cancels out many things. But at the same time, with China condoning this kind of activity, we'll have to see what kind of moves both countries engage in next and what new agreements are being made.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันอีกหนึ่งมุมมองนะคะในด้านของการเมืองหรือสถานการณ์ที่เกิดขึ้นที่กัมพูชาและการเมืองนั่นเองค่ะแต่ว่าในด้านของประเทศจีนนั่นเองนะคะซึ่งทางกระทรวงการต่างประเทศของจีนเนี่ยก็ได้ประกาศในการประชุมรัฐมนตรีต่างประเทศเอเชียยุโรปหรือว่าอาเซียนนั่นเองนะคะที่เกิดขึ้นที่กรุงเนปิดอร์ว่าทางรัฐบาลปักกิ่งสนับสนุนความพยายามของกัมพูชาในการรักษาเสถียรภาพทางการเมืองและเชื่อว่ารัฐบาลพนมเปญจะสามารถจัดการกับความท้าทายนะคะที่เขาเรียกกันจากทั้งภายในและภายนอกประเทศเพื่อที่จัดการเลือกตั้งทั่วไปได้ตามกำหนดในเดือนกรกฎาคมปีหน้านั่นเองนะคะด้วยบรรยากาศที่เป็นไปอย่างราบรื่นนะคะก็ถือว่าความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างจีนกับประเทศกัมพูชาเนี่ยก็แน่นแฟ้นยิ่งกว่าเดิมนะคะหลังจากที่เกิดขึ้นเรื่องราวต่างๆในด้านการเมืองของกัมพูชา
ใช่ค่ะแล้วก็นับว่าผู้นำทั้งสองประเทศก็เป็นเพื่อนสนิทกันด้วยนะคะเราก็จะคอยดูว่าจะช่วยสนับสนุนกันยังไงกันต่อเพราะว่าทางผู้นำประเทศกัมพูชาก็ได้นำประเทศมา30 ปีแล้วค่ะ
ใช่แล้วค่ะ so that's the situation going on in Cambodia and especially in terms of politics of course to end the year off as it is a very important year marking 2018 when they're going to have their great election going on so with that said we're going to take a short break and we have more news coming up soon
stay with us
Welcome back to the program and on to more interesting topics, of course. We're going to take a look at a situation or a topic which is considered the topic of the year around our ASEAN bloc, of course, and that's the situation surrounding Rohingya crisis going on between Myanmar and Bangladesh and the situation in terms of Muslims or Rohingya Muslims, and fleeing from Myanmar into Bangladesh, the situation surrounding that.
And to give you more insight into what's going on, let's take a look at some sound bites we've prepared for you to get more of another dimension.
Buddhist from Thailand. I cannot hide my deep concern with the dramatic movement of hundreds of thousands of refugees from Myanmar to Bangladesh. It is a worrying escalation in a protracted tragedy and a potential source of instability in the region and radicalization. The United Nations welcomes constructive approaches by ASEAN, including the provision of humanitarian aid to northern Rakhine. 2025. Economic growth in this region has lifted millions of others. I am extremely concerned by the threat of global terrorism and violent extremism, including in this region. The United Nations is prioritizing support for national and regional efforts to counter terrorism and to prevent violent extremism, including the establishment of a dedicated UN Office of Counterterrorism.
Right, let's keep our fingers crossed in the meantime. And with that, it's time for a short break. When we come back, more hot news and hot issues coming up ahead after the break.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to the show. Into the next break, we head over to check out what's there to mark on our ASEAN calendar to welcome the holidays. January 2018, New Year's Day. New Year's Day, which is on January 1st, marks the start of the new year in the Gregorian calendar, and it's a public holiday in many countries. Many count down to the new year, no matter where they are. What do people do? New Year's Day celebrations vary widely across various cultures. Some children receive gifts on New Year's Day in some countries. This is a popular holiday in Japan, where everyone celebrates his or her birthday. In Scotland, the holiday is known as Hogmanay, which is characterized by the custom of visiting friends and relatives after midnight on New Year's Eve. Many people who are up on New Year's Eve to welcome the new year and have a day off work on New Year's Day have the chance to sleep in and spend the remainder of the day either attending church services, visiting friends and relatives, going to movies, staying in, or watching or playing sports. Feasting on traditional New Year's food is also a widespread practice, but dishes vary across cultures. Many people mark New Year's Day as the first day to start a New Year's resolution for the year. New Year's Day parades are held in many places, and some of these parades are televised. The start of New Year's Day is usually marked by fireworks and music as the clock strikes midnight between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Public life. New Year's Eve is a public holiday in many places worldwide, including in Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Schools, post offices, and government offices are closed, as are most businesses, in countries where New Year's Day is a public holiday. Those wishing to travel via public transport may need to check with the local transport authorities on the schedules for New Year's Day. Background. New Year's Day marks the start of a new year according to the Gregorian calendar. It's relatively a modern practice. Although Romans began marking the start of their civil year on January 1st in their calendar, the traditional springtime opening of the growing season and time for major military campaigns still held on as the popular New Year celebration. Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar back in 1582. It was adopted immediately in some areas of Europe, but it was not used in various countries until even centuries later. For example, the United Kingdom and the United States started observing it in 1752, in which 11 days were dropped. It's important to note that not all cultures follow this calendar in observing New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. For example, the New Year in the Hindu, Chinese, Coptic, Jewish, Islamic calendars differ to that of the Gregorian calendar. Symbols. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are symbolized in various ways across the world. Midnight between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is often marked by fireworks and firecrackers. Many people drink and toast with champagne or other sparkling wine. January 4th, Independence Day, Myanmar. Independence Day is a national holiday observed annually in Myanmar every 4th of January. The date celebrates Myanmar's declaration of independence from the United Kingdom on January 4th, 1948. Origins. In the 19th century, following 3 Anglo-Burmese wars, Burma was colonized by Britain. On April 1st, 1937, Burma became a separately administered colony of Great Britain, and Bhummal, the first Prime Minister and Premier of Burma. Bhummal was an outspoken advocate for Burmese self-rule. He opposed the participation of Great Britain, and by extension, Burma, in World War II. He resigned from the Legislative Assembly and was arrested for sedition. In 1940, before Japan formally entered the Second World War, Aung San formed the Burma Independence Army in Japan. A major battleground, Burma was devastated during the Second World War. By March 1942, within months after they entered the war, Japanese troops had advanced on Rangoon, and the British administration had collapsed. A Burmese executive administration headed by Bhummal was established by the Japanese in August 1942. Beginning in late 1944, Allied troops launched a series of offensives that led to the end of the Japanese rule in July 1945. However, the battles were intense, with much of Burma laid waste by the fighting. Although many Burmese fought initially for the Japanese, some Burmese, mostly from the ethnic minorities, also served in the British Burma Army. The Burma National Army and the Arakan National Army fought with the Japanese between 1942 to 1944, but switched allegiance to the Allied side in 1945. Following World War II, Aung San negotiated the Panglong Agreement with ethnic leaders that guaranteed the independence of Burma as a unified state. In 1947, Aung San became deputy chairman of the Executive Council of Burma, a transitional government. But in July 1947, political rivals backed by the British assassinated Aung San and several cabinet members. On January 4, 1948, the nation became an independent republic named the Union of Burma, with Sao Shui Taik as its first president and U Nu as its first prime minister. Unlike most other former British colonies and overseas territories, it did not become a member of the Commonwealth. January 7th, Victory Over Genocide Day. This national holiday is always celebrated annually on January 7th, also known as Cambodian Victory Day. It marks the end of the Khmer Rouge regime in 1979. History of Victory Over Genocide Day. During the Vietnam War, Cambodia was a base for communist forces, and at the end of that conflict, an offshoot from the Vietnam People's Army called the Khmer Rouge took power in 1979. Mixing the ideology of communism and the Angkor Empire, they implemented extreme communist policies, enforcing strict self-sufficiency and taking children from parents so they could be indoctrinated in communism. An aim of the Khmer Rouge was to return Cambodia to a purely agricultural society. To implement this, many Cambodians were forced to leave the cities to work on labor camps. It's estimated that around 2 million Cambodians, which was almost a quarter of the population, were killed in the 4 years of the Khmer Rouge regime from starvation, illness, overwork in the labor camps, or execution for not embracing the ideals of the Khmer Rouge. This led to the reign of the Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot being seen as effectively a campaign of genocide against the Cambodian people. On January 7, 1979, Vietnamese troops entered Cambodia and began the assault to remove the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge surrendered on April 17, 1979. How is Victory Over Genocide Day celebrated? Commemorating such a dark period in history means this holiday is a solemn affair, with a day marked by remembrance services for those who lost their lives. It's also not a university welcome holiday in Cambodia, as many Cambodians feel uneasy about their dependence for liberation from Vietnam. Thailand Children's Day. On the second Saturday of January, the Thai people celebrate Children's Day by taking their kids out to have fun. Many local authorities organize special events, and other places of interest usually let children in for half price or even for free on this day. Children are considered as the most valuable resource of the country. There's a Thai saying that goes, "Children are the future of the nation. If the children are intelligent, the country will be prosperous." To help stimulate children to be aware of their significant role in the country, the National Children's Day was held for the first time on the first Monday of October 1955 and continued like this until 1963. Then it was changed to the second Saturday of January. January 16th, Teachers' Day in Thailand. Teachers' Day and Teacher Appreciation Day in Thailand. Teachers' Day is a national holiday in Thailand. It takes place on January 16th each year. Since 1957, Thailand has been celebrating this day in honor of its educators. It's a day to remember their importance in the lives of children. In Thailand, teachers are seen to have a position of high honor. Schools are closed so they can have the day off, and so that children can show respect for them. Teachers' Appreciation Day is another way Thai people show respect for their educators. It takes place at the beginning of the new school year, in June or July. On Thursday, children perform the White Crew ceremony. They bow before their teachers and offer them flowers with candles and incense in a gold container. The bouquets given to the teachers have 3 specific flowers in them. One symbolizes wit, another respect, and the other perseverance. In performing the ceremony, the students are thanking the teachers for having been taught well in the class, while hoping to gain merit and good luck for the future. And there you go, very important dates to keep in mind as we enter into 2018. And with that, we take a short break. Up next, ASEAN Interview. Don't miss it.
ใช่แล้วค่ะพักกันสักครู่
Welcome back to the show. Into ASEAN Interview, we have an interesting interview ahead for you.
ใช่แล้วค่ะกลับเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ในช่วงนี้ ASEAN Interview ค่ะเช่นเคยเราก็มีประเด็นที่น่าสนใจไปชมกันเลยค่ะ
Hello and Sawadika. This is your host Pama again for ASEAN's Challenge Show. As usual, we have inspiring guests to talk about their insights. And today we have a familiar guest, Mr. Jonas, who was last time here talking about his inspiring project dedicated to help Rohingya people. And today not only Jonas has come here, today along with him there's his partner, project partner Miss Teresa also joining us to talk about the insights and their aspirations. And in fact they have come back from a recent visit to Bangladesh and met the Rohingya people. So let's welcome them and hear out what they have got to say. Hello and Sawadika, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you guys here again. So I have been told that you guys are back from the recent visit to Bangladesh, meeting Rohingya people. So let's hear about the experiences and let's hear what you guys have experienced there. So let's hear the story.
Well, should I start? Well, it's a pretty long story, but we can just start. Like, our trip itself was very successful. So we were not expecting it to be that good, because we didn't expect to have that such good context there in Bangladesh, because we actually knew no one there. We just knew that we have someone who is saying he's gonna care for us, but we didn't know in how far he means it like that. But in fact, it was amazing how the people there they cared for us as for their own families. So we had pretty good insights of the camps and of what is happening there, and yeah.
It also affected us very personal, not only the situations in the camp, but also the way we got help and the way we got access to very sensible topic and informations.
Very impressive and very sensitive indeed. So overall, in your opinion, how is the situation there?
I think the situation in the camps seems to be stable. The people have water, the people have food, but I think it was not always be like this, because now humanitarian organizations are working very hard on the situations there.
I see. So what exactly and how exactly did you guys interact with people, and what were your contributions? What were the main tasks that you guys did there?
Well, at the beginning we planned to contribute our project to humanitarian aid. So we, as you know, we were collecting donations, and we wanted to give them directly to the people there. It then turned out that, as Teresa also already mentioned, that the needs of the people have changed. So there was no water and food needed anymore. So we had to think about how to contribute our donations to the people in the camps. So what we did now was giving the money we collected to our partner project in Bangladesh, and they are building solar-powered street lights in the camps, because you have to imagine the area of the camps is huge. It's like kilometers and kilometers in like hills, steep hills, and at night there's nothing. There's no light, there are no people, so you have to imagine like huge areas of complete darkness. So, and if many poor people are coming together in a dark area who don't have food, who don't have there are gonna be some conflicts, and so it came. So there were cases of human trafficking and rapes. So this project is a very good one, we think, because it's ensuring that the people who are living in the camps are safe, which is now the thing we should focus on after the organizations have covered the basic needs of the people.
I see. So you mean to say that the basic needs of the Rohingya people are being met at the refugee camps, and now that the other sort of help is needed much. So
yes. But if we look into the future, we know that the international,
it's not always going to be like this. So right now the international awareness is pretty high. So people are donating, people know about the topic, but probably in a couple of months, when the international awareness is gonna go to something else, let's say a conflict in Africa or something is gonna be there, because we live in a strange world. So then there's gonna be the same problem again, because the international organizations there, they don't have, they are not allowed to interfere all the time in Bangladesh. They just have a limited amount of time, and if they are gone and the donations are gone, people there gonna have nothing. They're not gonna have food anymore. They're not gonna have proper nothing.
They are already starting to store food and things for the winter.
For the future, winter. I see. So were you guys able to really interact one-on-one with the refugee people?
Yes.
Okay.
We made many interviews with them. We talked to children as well. We talked to older people, we talked to men, we talked to women about what they experienced. They experienced many abuses, or they lost their family members.
That's sad.
Especially for the children, it was shocking for us to see the children we talked to were 8 years old, 5 years old, maybe 14 years old, an age where we too in Germany have been in school, have been on the playground, away with our parents, and they were sitting there and they told us, okay, their both parents were killed. They even saw the military killing their parents. Imagine how that must influence your future life if you're 5 years old and you see someone is killing your family. And it was so hard to believe that the children really have to care about themselves. We were asking them who is caring for you, and they said, well, no one really. So that was so shocking.
And one day I talked to one girl, she was in my age, and she told me how she got raped by the Burmese military, and she could not really speak afterwards. She was so shocked, and I asked her if she ever would go back to her home country, and she said, no, I would never go back there, because what I saw was too much.
Very saddening insights that you are sharing here, and now to move on to the same journey that you guys had there. So could you please tell us how this journey has affected your project? Like, has it motivated you all to continue with the project, or what's the future aspect of the project that you all are undertaking?
It definitely motivated us in some way. Like I would say, on the one hand, it was kind of a bad impact on my personality, like not on my personality, but on my belief in the world, because I've never seen something like this, and so I was really like kind of frustrated but on the other side, we experienced that we really could do some change, like not a specific change like on the people there right now at the second we were in the camps, but we now have tons of material, of good material, of like investigative journalism material which we can share with the world, and the project was really, really amazing. We've never experienced to go that far, so we'll definitely continue in that. Maybe if not on the same issue, like if not on the Rohingya crisis, we will definitely continue producing documentary movies in other projects.
Okay, I see. So what was the main challenges or difficulties that you two faced in undertaking this project down there, meeting with the people and all? What was the main difficulties?
I think the main difficulties were the preparations, getting the money to travel there, getting sponsors, getting a visa to go to Bangladesh, or getting into Bangladesh. Or Bangladesh is a very untouristy country, and it was even hard to get money there. There were many challenges we had to face before we went there, but when we came there, people were helping us in a very unique way, and if they won't be there, if we didn't have any local friends who were all supporting us,
we would have no chance.
We would have no chance, literally. And they took us in the camp, and they could talk to the people, and they could show us the people, and they lead us the way. And otherwise, we won't be able to go there alone or to talk.
I see.
I think the biggest problem for us was the food there in Bangladesh. We had like kind of a problem with that, and we were together with the mental issue that it was so exhausting to hear those stories of the people we were talking to, because like I'm not in an age that I have so many life experience I can just like put it away from me, but I'm 22, and if someone is telling me his father was burned in front of his eyes, it really affected me, together with this mental thing, and that we were just like kind of weak because we didn't really eat in Bangladesh.
I see.
It was really exhausting, and we had like many discussions between us, not because we don't like each other, but we were just both so
mentally stressed.
Yeah. That was one of the biggest
challenges.
Challenges,
so
yeah.
I see. Very sorry to hear about the food
okay.
and the challenges you guys faced there. So now, Teresa, I have already talked with Jonas about why he joined this and why he started this project. He said it's closer to him, and then he wanted to help. So now, could you tell me what was your main reason for coming up with such a project? What motivated you to really come up with such project and travel all the way?
I think what motivated me is that it is actually easy to help. It is actually easy to make a start, and as soon as we started the project, and as soon as we took the first steps, I get motivated and motivated again, and I feel that even very small change can affect maybe more.
Wow.
So I would say it's always getting better.
Wow, very inspiring and a very beautiful insight you guys shared here. So share us about the more aspirations that if you have for the world as a better place. Anything that you guys want to add on before wrapping up this conversation?
That's a tough question. I think what we experience is that in general this crisis didn't came up because of religious differences or of maybe not even of cultural differences, but what we think after this project is that there are bigger interests, that there are economical interests of big countries which are in the UN, which have a veto right in the UN, and so for this reason I think the big conflicts in the world begin. So maybe I changed my opinion after this project, but we talked to people who didn't really tell us that directly, but they made us understand what they want to tell us, because it seemed to be pretty dangerous for them to talk the truth, but they obviously knew the truth. So I think to make the world a better place, there need to be, I don't believe I'm saying that because we were always discussing about that and I had a complete other opinion before, but I think there need to be a change in how the Western world is looking at the other parts of the world and how they are using them to achieve the wealthiness they have.
What I think is that we have to understand that no matter where we come from or no matter what culture or religion we have, we are not different from each other. We are not different from each other because we feel the same when our home is taken, and we feel the same when we lose our mother. We have the same feelings.
Very beautiful insight and very true indeed. If there were like least of a distinction and more of a compassionate feeling of all the pain as one, the world would be a better place. So thanks a lot for sharing this insightful experiences, and thank you for joining us. Wish you all wish you a very best of luck in the upcoming documentation of the movie, and very inspired to see how the two of you initiated the whole thing on your own, and then because moved by your own compassion for other and your willingness to help, so this has traveled this far. So wish you a very best of luck for your future endeavor, and looking forward to the movies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Kopenka.
So that was Jonas and Teresa giving us an intense experience that they had on the pursuit of their project. So very soon they are going to have the whole documentation, and we are looking forward to present them as well. And stay tuned in for the next week's show. So that's it for today. Thank you.
Okay.
And that's ASEAN Interview for you this week. And that wraps up our ASEAN Challenge segment today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. But for now,
have a happy new year.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ